you want to buy the new Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 3. Maybe you even said, I'm not doing it this year, but now it's looking pretty good. Well, I don't want you to get burned off of false expectations, or maybe you just want to have some additional thoughts from somebody who plays way too much video games, especially the Call of Duty series. Of course, they're known for doing a lot of marketing, but you don't always know exactly what you're going to get, so I want to help to set those expectations. As this is not a remaster of the game that came back out in 2011, you may recall, but it's different just as the last two games were. They're just reusing and modernizing the franchise and this series. So here are 5 of the most common things that I've already seen people constantly getting confused by and asking questions of myself and other people, with some of my thoughts in the last one you may even disagree with. But if there is anything I miss or you do have anything to say, please let me know in the comments. But as always, keep it civil and respectful. Many of us are looking forward to this game, and I want this to be a helpful resource for people to just figure out what's going on. First, November 2nd is just the release of the campaign. November 10th will be the release of the actual multiplayer. Also keep in mind that this must be the digital version of the game. Obviously, you're not going to be able to buy the physical version early on the 2nd. That's still going to be releasing at normal time. They've started to do this in the last years with early access going to pre-order specifically for the campaign, so you can play through that entire campaign experience and not have to decide, do I play this before I play the multiplayer? All the multiplayer will start at the same time. I even have the dates, time on screen here, depending on where your region is. It gives you time to play through and enjoy the campaign. And with this year, they're doing more open combat missions, you've heard them say, which is basically more options in how you want to take on the mission, whether being stealth or loud. They've had some ways of doing this in the past, and I really don't know how thorough this is going to be. Usually the campaigns are 3 to 5 hours. Theoretically, this will add even more replayability to it. Usually I have a lot of fun playing through the huge cinematic experience that these games are, and then I really never go back to it, but even more options if you want to. 2, Warzone is coming for free still. Many of us fell in love with Call of Duty with their new Warzone Battle Royale series. That will be coming in Season 1 next month in December. We don't have the exact time frame on everything yet, but we do know that this is going to include Battle Royale Resurgence as well as Plunder, which was not there when Warzone 2 launched. That means if you really want to, you could just skip buying Modern Warfare 3 entirely, and I did another video talking about that in more detail, because Plunder is a great way that you can get a multiplayer type experience even with lockdown that they have now, essentially like a giant game of Hardpoint, and get quick respawns with a squad and have health pools and weapon styles within Warzone, but allowing you to grind and level up your guns. The weapons will be crossing over as well, though, so if you do want to just grind the current Warzone, play some Plunder, get those guns leveled up if you're going to get back into it, that could be a good way to spend the next month if you don't want to spend the money on the actual game, and then play Warzone for free. And as for Resurgence, they're also going to be adding Rebirth Island as well as Fortune's Keep, some classic maps from Warzone 1. They tweeted, confirmed it, but that is not going to be coming until 2024. OG Fortnite's getting its revival with the OG maps. We still haven't heard anything specific on Verdansk, although there is a lot of rumors that will be coming back at some point in the future as well. I'm not as certain because they're going to be releasing it on mobile. They want to drive as many people there as they can because they make way more money on mobile, but I'm keeping my eye out and we will see, because we have seen a lot of Verdansk elements already in the trailers of this game, likely going to be featured in the campaign. Third, not all of the game modes will be there at launch. Most notably, ranked play, which if you're grinding rank, you probably already know this, isn't going to be coming until sometime in Season 1. This is also just typical of what we've seen the last 2 game launches. They don't launch with hardcore being there. 24/7 shipment and the super close maps that people just use to instantly grind and get all their weapons done likely won't be there, because they want to slow you down, especially at the launch of the game, to get you to play more of it. I even talked with Reed Boy, one of the guys who grinds weapon camos, was the first to get platinum, and has even made new accounts to grind through all of the weapon camos in Modern Warfare 2 again, but done post-launch, and he said it is way faster because you have hardcore and the close quarters maps unlocked. In that same sense, we don't have the necessary concrete list off of it, but I can only imagine we're not going to have everything. The good news on this front, though, is double XP tokens are carrying over from the current game. So if you're grinding them, you've got a whole bunch of them saved up, keep on saving them. They are about to pay off big time. Fourth, zombies isn't quite what you think. I see zombies as really an alternative way to leveling up your guns, because it is only going to be that PvE experience, player versus environment, going up against AI. And you can even go in with your friends. Because of that, you're not going to have to know all the crazy movement to slide, cancel, and fight against other players. Maybe you'll level up a little bit slower, but even from games in the past we've seen, you level up quite quick in zombies depending on what you do. And I'm sure at the launch of the game, the way that the leveling is going to work, people will find some good broken ways to level. If you remember zombies of old, trying to see how many rounds you can get to with your buddies or even alone at night, scared out of your mind knowing that there is no victory, this is not your classic round-based experience. People are thinking that next year's game with Treyarch's release, where they're most notably known for zombies and are part of this experience, will be heading the next game. Sledgehammer's the current game focused on Modern Warfare 3 and spearheading it, although all the studios are involved. They are creating an experience more like DMZ. If you didn't play this was their new iteration that they added last year and have completely really overhauled over the last year. The idea is you drop in to complete missions, kill bosses, loot and extract gear, all while fighting with or against other players that drop into the same world. Zombies this year is going to be extraction-based. Similar to DMZ, you will go into this world, get your gear, complete missions, and then exfil. However, this is only going to be PvE. So in that sense, it is similar to zombies. And this is actually what I'm planning on completely playing through. So if you really just want to see the campaign and zombies, I'm going to keep you covered. And if you need some people to play with, I recommend joining in on our Discord server because I'm sure a lot of you guys will be too. And finally, fifth, all of the new small maps are actually old remakes. It's not new content, which is also one of the reasons many people are saying that this is really just a DLC game. And I can see that, especially if you really only play the multiplayer. But these maps were released in 2009 in the classic Modern Warfare 2 game, not last year's game, also named the same thing. And while a lot of people are upset by this, there are a lot of maps that are coming on that initial launch. And while I don't like all of them, there is a lot of really good maps here. And I'm sure to new players, especially that didn't play the game back then, these are going to be new experiences anyways. And even if you did play them, it's been so long that I think the revisit, at least from what I played so far in the beta, has been very fun. But I've seen a lot of people get mad. You tell me, is this a crazy take? Main thing is, I don't want you to get this game expecting a whole bunch of new maps, and you're like, oh, well, I heard that the old maps were coming, but I didn't realize that was it. But it appears it's just going to be those remakes, at least for the beginning. That's specific to the small 6v6 maps, though. That's not it, though, because we also have the new big map of Urzikstan coming. This is where we're going to be playing zombies, Warzone, and even the new modes they added with Modern Warfare in 2019 of Ground War and Invasion, which really scratches my Battlefield itch. And even the two maps that I got to play during the beta for that felt great. I wasn't getting destroyed by the tanks. And I'm sure some of that big map will be sliced up into smaller maps, and we'll be getting DLC into the future, which of course is included with the seasons and season reloads that come out in this game for free, baked into the original price. Although I will say, usually the first couple seasons, they have not been dropping a whole lot of new content for the multiplayer and the paid side of this game. If you know and love Call of Duty, though, at its core, this is still the same game. It's all part of the same franchise, the next expansion, the next iteration, new maps, guns, and features that have been taken away and re-added like Ghost. And I'm not saying all of this to deter you from trying to get the game, but more so, again, to keep the expectations of what is actually coming. Obviously, a lot of this stuff gets hyped up. I'm a dude who gets extremely excited about new games and launches. I've been to many midnight releases, and I still enjoy all these new games coming out, but wanted to give you a little bit more past just the headlines and titles. If you want to see the rest of my coverage, make sure you're subscribed. Once Warzone drops, that's mainly what I'm going to be focused on, and I have some fun, insightful, helpful information that's going to be coming along with that for as long as I'm still loving this game. Really hoping this launch is better than what it was last year, and I don't see how it could possibly be any worse. We took a lot of steps backwards to get to Warzone 2. I've been talking about this for a very long time and kept up with the game the entire way through, so I'm excited to see us continuing to move forwards. And if you want even more of my Call of Duty coverage, check out my Plays channel. But if you're over it, just wanted the update, then I recommend heading over to my Beyond channel, where we play other shooters, even party games, and it's a whole other side of gaming. That's for this one, though. Thanks so much for watching.